March the 28th, 1966. The Norwegian cargo vessel Bretagne, punching through a gale in the North Sea, reports that she is listing badly and taking water. Bound from Oslo to Rotterdam with general cargo, she is 14 miles west of IJmuiden. The tug Titan was ordered to sea and was soon alongside the crippled vessel. She offered her services on the basis of Lloyd's open form, no cure, no pay, and these were accepted. The tug's crew made fast to the Bretagne and commenced to tow her into IJmuiden. So foul was the weather that the pilotage service was suspended. Yet the Titan's crew succeeded in bringing the Bretagne, now listing 40 degrees, inside the shelter of the breakwaters. There, with assistance from harbour tugs, an attempt was made to shift the vessel to a point indicated by the harbour master, where, on the instructions of her own master, she would be beached. The list steadily increased. Efforts were made to put more portable pumps and other salvage material aboard. But within an hour, the Bretagne heeled over and came to rest with her port side on the bottom. Her crew sought safety on the starboard side and were later taken ashore. In the offices of Bureau Wijsmuller, experts worked day and night on plans to right the Bretagne. Plans which demanded as much hard experience as pure figure work. Material and equipment commenced to arrive at the spot. Lifting and salvage vessels, ventilators, pumps, diving gear, underwater cutting and welding plant, generators, and so on and so on. The Bretagne, too, was a scene of activity. Ventilators connected to the holds drew out explosive and poisonous gases generated by the action of the water on part of the cargo. Until these gases were dispelled, welding was impossible. Four 20-foot cantilever arms were welded onto the projecting side of the vessel's hull. Together with her beam of 46 feet, these afforded a 66-foot lever. The arms were linked via 12-fold purchases to heavy-duty winches developing a pull of 400 tons and mounted on the dunes. The lifting vessel Octopus with her heavy gear also contributed to the operation. This arrangement, it was calculated, must succeed in righting the Bretagne. Ashore, draglines and bulldozers were busy preparing the winch anchorages. On the pontoon anchored astern of the capsized vessel, the pumps were made ready and hoses run out. Divers ensured that these reached to the lowest point in the holds. Ashore, the excavators were digging four 33-foot shafts into which 18-inch square beams would later be placed vertically and serve as straining posts for the winches. The welding of the cantilever frames to the hull was completed in the second week of the operation. Ashore, men strained to prepare the heavy purchases which were to take the strain during the righting operation. Meanwhile, the deep pits and trenches dug for anchorage purposes were filled in and the sand bedded down around the massive timbers. Divers and frogmen worked round the clock to seal as many portholes, outlets and other apertures as possible. On the 12th day of the operation, the lifting and salvage vessel Octopus was shifted into a position in which steel hawsers, as thick as a man's wrist, could be run over her bow horns to the underside of the Britannia's hull. Heavy road vehicles were meanwhile bringing the winches into position. And the link between the winches and the cantilever arms was being completed. Despite fog and heavy rain, the crews worked day and night. 2 motorboats and a pontoon were used to carry the tackle. Five-inch steel wires were used to secure the winches to the man-made ground anchors. The day of the actual righting operation dawned. First, however, came the difficult job of getting the 6-fold purchases properly into position. Easter Day 1966, the 14th day of the operation. The time has come for the signal to start the pumps. Roaring at full power, the pumps suck 2,500 tons of water per hour out of the Bretagne. The level in the vessel's hull fell rapidly. 2 hours later, the winches were started up. Thick fog shrouded the harbour. Each of the winches had a nominal pulling power of 10 tons, but with the reeving system employed, each exerted a power of 100 tons on the cantilever arms. The tension on the wires was matched by the tension among the salvage crew. The first report arrived, 3 degrees. Soon afterwards came reports of 7, 11, 14 degrees. When the signal 20 degrees was received, a sigh of relief went up. The critical point in the operation had been successfully passed. Positioned on the other side of the Bretagne, the Octopus threw every ounce of her 200-ton lifting capacity into the struggle. Slowly but surely, the Bretagne resumed her normal position. After 5 hours pumping and 3 hours pulling and heaving came a pause in the operation. By this time, the Bretagne had been tilted through 70 degrees. Although still listing 20 degrees, her bridge and hatches were above the water. She was held in this position by means of the winches and the Octopus while the second phase was undertaken, the unloading of her cargo. Soundings were taken continuously all round the hull. The port side of the erstwhile gleaming, month-old vessel was streaked with black mud. Within a matter of hours, floating cranes and barges were alongside. The loading booms and hatch covers were removed. Then commenced the task of unloading the now very mixed cargo. Tinned goods, paper, butter, tin plate, engines, winches, wood pulp, in short, a very general cargo. The unloading of the Bretagne took 3 weeks. Extreme care was needed in order not to endanger her stability. At last, her holds were empty and her list reduced to a few degrees. Just 5 weeks after the Titan had towed her into IJmuiden, the Bretagne was moved to Amsterdam. There, the cantilever arms were removed and the vessel made ready for towage to a repair yard in Norway.